So on a baguette, I always like to, when I'm training people, I always like them, if they can draw the score, then I trust them to actually maybe attempt scoring. Because it's actually, a lot of people want to just score a baguette like across like this. So like that's kind of what they envision in their head. And what happens is that there's so much gap here and there's no overlap. There's a whole chunks of the dough that doesn't have, or the baguette that doesn't have a score underneath, and it doesn't like get the proper oven spring and volume, right? So a proper score on a baguette is tip to tip, and so think of breaking this into thirds here. So the baguette is here's 1/3, 2/3, and 3/3, right? And these lines can continue all the way down. I can't draw straight lines right now. But so we're scoring in the center third of the baguette. So as we come down, we'll start in the near the tip, and you come straight down, almost straight, slight angle, right? And so typically you overlap about 1/3 of the line to come down again. And so you're keeping your scores in the center of that baguette, like that. So now here begins the advanced part, because you can see that I think in a book. How much space is here? Right here, I kind of call this the hinge, right? How much space is there between your cuts? Kind of largely depends on how proof the dough is. If you get a baguette that you have to put in the oven that's a little bit underproofed, you'll typically leave a wider hinge like that. Okay. These are just the small little details about scoring. We can go ahead and set up with the couche and get ready to roll. And then I'll demonstrate, and I don't know if Jesse's shaped exactly like I do or not, so he can do a couple, and then everybody should jump in and do it. And I don't know, there's a couple other bakers I invited over, because I think it's one of the most interesting things is seeing everybody a lot of people just do it different, so. I told George to come back from Essential. So when we work together, a lot of times we'll just, well, I guess if it's just two people, then we both shape and we'd couche our own baguette in the middle. But if there's like 3 or 4 people, then many times you'll just have one person who's doing the couching and everybody's shaping and then kind of tossing them over, and one person's putting them in. So
that person gets to be called the couch monkey.
Yeah, you can go ahead and open it. Start at number 2, and then, number 3, and then go up to.
See, you can see there's a lot of steam coming out once she opens that.
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
This one won't open as much because I screwed up.
So, anyway, I'm choosing the ones that are a little bit more relaxed. So, anyway, as you can see, they're already kind of tubes in a way. And what I like to just think about is we were just turning it over, giving it a light tug, right? You can even kind of square it up if you want. I fold just down to the middle there. All my fingers are kind of putting equal pressure. I'm not doing the piano. I'm kind of doing equal pressure. And you can see tension. When I push down and rock back, you can kind of see a stretch right there, right? So I go get the flour I want, come back. Then I come back over, right? So, and then I go back to equal measurements, or go back to square. There is going to be a spot in just a few minutes.
Awesome. Can I throw them in the walk-in and then?
Yeah. So, you'll have to tell her what temp.
Okay.
So once you get to this point, look how it's even all the way down. It's the same mass, and all we have to do is turn it into a baguette by simply we're folding over. So, and I kind of stand off to the side because when I push down, I want my hand to hit flat. If your bone hits the bench, if you do it here, you're having your bone hit the bench. If you stand off to the side, you can and I'm just touching on the edge, and I'm sealing that down. Okay? So what I've done is I've got a straight seam right there, right? And so I just release it from the table and find out where you need to put your pressure, and voila, you get a straight baguette that goes straight down the center, and then we're couching seam side up. So we're going to come over here. So the couching is a little flour. We go right inside, and remember that they are going to expand. So we need to make sure that they have just a little bit of space to expand. And that's that. So, again, so that we can pick up the speed. And I know that there's other bakers that are going to come in here, and sometimes they don't seal like that. Matter of fact, if Jesse and I were shaping, and we had a couple 100 to get through, I'd probably end up going down like this. I don't like this table. I'd probably go down like this, and I'd probably go right down like that. And I'd probably do this and toss it to him. So, I mean, if we had to do that,
Yes.
that's what we would do.
Can I critique this?
He was showing us a quick way.
Yeah.
As long as you do it in
Okay.
Messy method.
Okay.
Messy method.
Nice.
But if you have a lot to make, then you kind of skip that full this and that.
Let's see Jesse make one.
It's shooting for exactly what Michael did. I just have a different style. So I fold this into the center, and I actually use the edge of my palm for everything. And this really is sort of misleading because it's going to look like I'm smashing the bread, and I'm not smashing the bread. I just seal that middle through there, flip it around. Now you got a nice straight edge. Bring this side back to the middle again. I always pick it up in between each stage and just let it be as long as it wants to be. And then on the final one, seal the edge. And then maybe taper the edges a little bit. By doing it that way, it's already long enough. I don't have to stretch it and tear the gluten. And you can see all the gas bubbles are still intact. I didn't degas it at all. Basically exactly what Michael does, except I use my hands a little bit differently.
So why seam side up?
We're going to flip these. And that's just totally a matter of preference. Some bakeries do them seam down, and then they double flip them. When we're unloading these with the transfer peel, we'll just be pulling them off, stick them on there, and then set them on the peel like that with your loader. That's why I like to do them upside down, because unloading or moving them from the couche to the loader is so much faster. I'll do one more, and then you should jump in, otherwise we're way behind.
Can we make one now?
Yes, please do.
One of the main things of it, I think Jesse and I have both done, is that watch when he gets at every stage, his baguette is almost equal down, right? And then it comes down, and then he folds it in half, and it still has equal. It's still, it's not like a dog bone, right? And we're not trying to make a baguette out of the dog bone.
Yeah.
So,
Many bakers will spend a lot of time stretching and rolling, and that's just tearing up your baguette and wasting your time, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I'll do one like that. So skip everything and then just sit here, start rolling.
I'm left-handed and I feel backwards.
Good luck. I had right-hand people teaching me, and I'm left-handed, and I can't do anything right. And I'm
well, you gotta be
Let's
able
do
to
one
you
together.
gotta just
I
mirror,
feel
mirror
warped.
image him.
So, am I?
No, well, face him, and he'll do one right-handed. And
Yeah.
mirror image.
It looks nice, but you could see that you degassed that one more.
I degassed it more,
Yeah.
and there are more big holes.
Yeah.
So when you cut into it, there's going to be some ridiculously large holes compared to some flat crumb.
All right.
And also, I tore it a little bit. It's just.
So when you roll into the point,
I got you on camera here.
so the one thing is reverse, I think, right?
I
already flipped
Oh,
it.
you did. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I looked at it and it didn't look flipped. But, so perfect.
I love baguettes with the
So-
extreme
so
paper
I
edge
did
where they get
twice.
black on the edge and
now-
they're really dangerous.
And now
But
you're,
I think they look really
So you're
cool.
kind of tucking in and you're kind of
Yeah.
sealing.
For a lot of customers,
So,
they want
like
one.
Yeah, right on the edge. And then, that's pretty good. Go ahead and release it and go ahead and roll it out. You'll have to roll that one a little bit.
Oh, really?
That's pretty good.
so you don't do too much rolling here.
No, I mean, the
That's
goal
nice.
is to get the baguette right at the right time where there's not any rolling really necessary.
Okay.
You know,
yeah.
if you get a relaxed baguette, I always square it up a little bit. Try to square it up. I go to the middle.
Right.
Yeah.
Before you do that,
Seems good to be able to.
Hey, George.
be as long as
Excellent. So then I come back to the middle again, stretch again. I like to just stretch out. I don't like to roll the baguette out so much. So, and see how it's equal going down, and then I seal just like
we're a
so,
little short on these.
right? Whatever.
That was really subtle.
I'm not sure if there's enough room.
Yeah, it's just in.
What I would
So
say
this
is,
dough's
as long as
just a
you
little
keep
bit
some
strong,
control,
so we have to roll tight a bit.
Can I have this too?
So,
size of your
George, come on up. So this is with the Levan, so it's a little strong, but not too bad. So I don't know if anybody, you guys met George today when he spoke. So he owns Essential, and he's been shaping baguettes for a long time.
Not as long as you. I do the same exact thing that Michael, these guys have said. I just fold it this way, and then depending on, I think Michael said that depending on how fast we're going, you might want to turn this over, go the other way. We want to remember that when you're sealing, when you're forming the baguette, not too much flour because that will keep you from sealing the thing. So then but it's this action of using your left hand to fold